Hello, this is Vicki Leroux with Modern Jewelry Creators. I just wanted to make a quick video to kind of preview the items that are coming up in the next segment of the estate sale inventory that I'm currently facilitating for one of my longtime customers. I think this is part 5 of our precious metals is the next section. You won't see me in this video, just my hands here and there. I'll try to keep my body off camera. Like I said, I think this is the 5th part of this large collection that I'm hosting. And it is meant to be all the precious metals. However, there was so much, I've broken this up into 2 parts too. So I guess it's a part A and a part B. And this is primarily all sterling, mostly kind of the fancier sterling findings, toggles, clasps, cones, caps, beads, chain, etc. And then in the next part, maybe later on in September, I'll do the rest of it, which will be a lot more of just the basic silver findings, and you can't really see them in the bag, and then a lot of the gold. There's many more trays than that, but there's 14 karat gold filled vermeil, bronze, and pewter, and so there's quite a bit beyond this. And so this is where I decided to kind of split it up and into more of the kind of fancier things. So I like doing these videos so I can share a little more details about the pieces than I can through their website listing or in an email. So this was fairly time consuming to prepare. Most of these items are from like the mid 2000s. Like a lot of the other parts of this estate sale, the majority of these pieces were in their original packaging. So either an original bag with a label or a price tag or handwriting, and which was very, very helpful. So in many cases, I was able just to look it up if it was something that was still available. So for instance, maybe some of the basic things still had a little tag from Shipwreck where I could just look up the code number, or from Fire Mountain. So that's helpful. But sterling is based on the market price, right? And so obviously sterling, the price of sterling has increased. All these things are worth quite a bit more than they were when they were purchased 15 years ago, or around that time. So like I've done in the other parts of the estate sale, to be most kind of fair for all of it, I've priced this at its current market value, so today's retail price, and then we put it on sale for our customers. And so in other parts of the sales that we've done before, they've been anywhere between like 30 to 50% off. So I've priced all of these different kinds of silver at their correct retail for today, and then all of it is 50% off for my customers, which is an extraordinary deal because sterling's pretty expensive today, and you're not going to find it on sale at 50% off anyway. And then a lot of these wonderful special items are not even available anymore. So it really is a very special event. Okay, and there are many different kinds of, I guess, ways to make silver, and so it's not quite as easy as just taking today's market price by the ounce and converting it to grams, weighing everything, and then pricing it. It's just not like that. Something that is like a smooth bead like this is a different price than a bead that's reticulated, that has the little dots and everything. That would be a different price per gram than something that's etched. That would be a different price than something that has filigree. It would be a different price of chain. So because it's all made differently, they're all different types here. It took quite a while to prepare it and get the right prices. But I think I have most of it down. And so it, again, will be a really good value for you. This is not all of it as far as quantity. What I did, especially with the beads, is just poured a little bit out of the bag, but there's larger quantities than this available on a lot of the items. And like I said, it's primarily the beads. And so we can just start with those. Because a lot of, especially like the heavier beads, something like this lovely bead is, pretty hefty. And so its retail today would be close to $20 a piece. And so for like the larger bags of spacers, so something like this bag, if you can see it, is about $300 of silver at its full price. But someone doesn't want to have to spend $150 on just one type of spacer, So what I've done is, for a lot of them, is broke them up into bags of 10 or 20 or 50 or 100 or whatever, so that it allows more people to be able to purchase it. And then again, it's not such a big cash outlay for one design or one style. So hopefully that helps a little bit. There's a lovely selection here, though, of flat spacers, a lot in like a 6mm size. They're just beautiful. I've done some assortments, so something where there's only like 2 of something and 4 of something else. That's just like a little assorted lot. These right here are Thai silver. She has a beautiful collection of Thai silver. Sterling silver, right, its purity is 92.5. Thai silver is almost pure silver. It's 99% silver. And so it just has a different color, and then its style is different. I'm just such a fan. It's such beautiful, beautiful work. So there's a lovely selection of Thai silver here. So we'll move on to more beads. Like there's some basic rounds and saucers, and then spacers, daisy spacers. These ones on the strands, I'm going to leave on the strand, but there are other bags of them as well. There's strands of, this is Thai silver. I hope you can see that this is a gorgeous design. So it's a beautiful strand. And then there's some fancier kind of focal beads here, right, with that kind of fancy reticulation all over it. So beautiful. These are from Pacific Silver Works, right? So it's Italian silver. It's just, oh, so yummy. Such beautiful, beautiful work. So really, really gorgeous beads here. Okay. Then let's move on to some toggles and clasps. So there's, of course, a lot of beautiful, fancy toggles here. Some of them are individual, but some I did in little groupings. This little selection of bamboo toggles are beautiful. So if the design was really similar, I keep some of them in groups like this. There's a bunch of this little 3-strand clasp, which is really beautiful. Then, of course, a lot of these items are purchased at different bead festivals, at our Puget Sound Bead Festival. So like this is a lovely piece. It's not a clasp. I guess it could be if you hooked it to a little loop, but it's a, I'll try to bring it closer. It's a necklace shorter, or pearl shortener, I guess. Just try to find a clasp, a way to hold it. If I can get a backing. So she's just lovely. Sorry the lighting's so yucky, but it's a beautiful piece. It's by Laura Liska. And right, so if you had a long multi-strand, a long strand of pearls or something, you would double it or triple it, and then you would put that around it to hold it in place, right? And it would be its catch or pendant to the whole strands, to all the strands. But you also could use it as like a removable pendant or bail. It could easily just hang from a chain or a cord. But it's a gorgeous piece with that lovely amethyst stone in there. She's just beautiful. Then there's a lovely selection of designer clasps by Kim Fox. There's this beautiful satin silver toggle. This like gorgeous little square hook hang. She's just beautiful. There's this lovely wheel. It's like a little toggle wheel. It's so pretty. Right, that's so yummy. Very pretty. And what's great, Kim Fox doesn't have a website anymore, but she is on Etsy. And so I was just able to look up these clasps and find the current price on all of them. And this little wheel today is $100, this little clasp on her website. So whoever gets to buy it now at $50 is very lucky. These are, like I said, going to be great deals. So really beautiful. Going on, there's a selection, of course, of slider clasps here. These are fun. They're little box clasps, right, where you're going to put the stone in here. These are from Jess Imports. It's a gorgeous little box. And so it's about 14 millimeters. Just need a flat cabochon to put in there. But there's a couple of those. I thought that was kind of fun. Then there's, of course, a gorgeous selection of the gemstone clasps. I wonder if I can put them on here to see them better. They're different sizes. So I'm trying to get them in the camera, but there's beautiful amethyst, iolite, citrine, and more ammy, and this beautiful pearl one. Those are all lovely. There's quite a few little safety clasps, right, where it unhooks. So some beauties there. Then let's move on to, of course, there's some beautiful fancy cones here. A lot of the fancy reticulation. These are also by Pacific Silverworks. Look at that. Yummy. This workmanship is fantastic. These long hammer ones. These are little tie cones. These have the gemstones in them, right? The amethyst, iolite. Beautiful. And then gorgeous selection of caps. Right? Really, really beautiful caps. Like I said, I love that little filigree style is beautiful. This is gorgeous. I think it's like a little cap cone almost. So there's just lovely designs there. And moving on, there's a little etched cones that are beautiful. I loved having these. They're so beautiful. And then the little matching clasps. That little detail. These are also Pacific Silverworks. It's beautiful. And these little tie silver charms. She had quite a few charms. So I put them in little collections that work. These are all cats. This is all kind of nature, wildlife. These are cocopellis. Some beautiful other pendants. That's a gorgeous, like multi-strand, pendant piece here. These are actually white bronze. These few. There's a couple of beautiful clasps and cones. There's just a couple of them here, and I'll mark that in the listing. So white bronze is not sterling. It's bronze with sterling plate, but it'll specify that in the listing. There are then these gorgeous sterling chains. Some of these are quite long, 12 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet. So I might, again, cut up some of these into like 4 feet pieces. Again, so more people are able to purchase them. And again, you're not outlaying $100 for one piece of chain. But it's wonderful to have the sterling chains available. And then continuing on, there's a whole spool of beading chain. This is a Omega sterling chain with the clasp. This is a gorgeous Indian pendant that I brought home from India. They're about 300 years old. So you can just appreciate the workmanship considering the lack of tools they had back then. So it's very gorgeous. Then there is this line. There's two toggles here. One is mother of pearl and turquoise. The other one is a black onyx with the silver. And then there's matching beads to them. They're just gorgeous. And then with the mother of pearl, so pretty. These are stamped with the maker's mark. These particular pieces might not be on this part of the sale. They might end up going on the next time or not even at all, perhaps. They are stamped with the designer's maker's mark on them. By that indication, it looks like they're perhaps made by designer Barry Kieselstein Cord, and he was a famous designer in the 70s and 80s. This looks just like his style. He did put his maker's mark on his clasps. However, I have not been able to find more beads like this. I have not been able to find the beads that are stamped, and so part of it is being able to authenticate them, but also then to get a current value. And the customer remembers buying them from a gallery in Scottsdale, and so all that lines up. However, I don't want to claim something as something if I don't know for a fact. And just from its increased value over time, I could go off that. But if these are truly from the house of BKC, which closed in 2010, I think, then they're worth quite a bit more. And so if you looked up any of his jewelry on eBay or Etsy, it's worth hundreds of hundreds of thousands of dollars, actually. And so it would alter the value quite a bit. So I just want to be sure of what I'm selling, obviously. But that is kind of pretty much it. I will upload this video and then send an email to members first, of course, about when these items will go live for members to shop. And then about 24 hours after that, I will send an email to our full customer list telling them it's available for them to shop, whatever's still available or left after the members have shopped. And yeah, and then this video will end up probably being on YouTube at that point, so that all the customers can see it instead of just the members. Having said that, I do want to add here in this video that these sales events are not open to the general public, and they're only available to our longtime customers. Facilitating these collections, doing these estate sales, is just a special service that I only offer to my long-time customers, and then in turn, only our long-term customers are able to shop them. It's just a special perk, I guess, from being a long-term Bead Factory customer, but it's just also important to me not only to honor the 25 years of the Bead Factory, but more so to honor all of our amazing customers that made it so special. And I don't know, it's just important to me that these beautiful, gorgeous pieces that are loved and cherished kind of stay within our community. You know, it's just kind of a special way we're connected through it. And I get that won't always be the case, right? These pieces will last way beyond our years, but for now, it's the way it is. And so I just wanted to put that out there once this video is public, that these special events are just for our longtime Bead Factory customers. And that's just the way it is. But thank you for joining me to check all the goodies out and look for upcoming emails about when it's all going to be available. And thank you so much for joining me. Until we connect again, sparkle brightly like the star that you are. Peace.